So literally in the last few moments we've had an update from the palace in which they have said that the Duke of Edinburgh was today transferred from the King Edward VII Hospital to St Bartholomew's Hospital, where doctors will continue to treat him for an infection, as well as undertake testing and observation for a pre-existing heart condition. So this has just come through from the palace now. They also say that the Duke remains comfortable and is responding to treatment, but is expected to remain in hospital until at least the end of the week. So just to confirm the details that we've had, Prince Philip has now left the King Edward VII Hospital. He has instead been transferred to St Bartholomew's Hospital, and the doctors there are continuing to treat him for an infection, which it was confirmed by the palace he was being treated for here. They confirmed that last week. They also say that doctors are now undertaking testing and observation for a pre-existing heart condition. I think also some reassurance from the palace here in which they say that the Duke remains comfortable and is responding to treatment, but they go on to say that he is expected to remain in hospital until at least the end of the week. Now, this confirmation from the palace comes after we saw much more activity around the hospital first thing this morning. At around 8 o'clock, police started putting out more barriers around one of the entrances and exits to the hospital. We also saw more police arrive at the time as well to try and potentially obscure the exit from view from the banks of cameras and photographers who've been here right throughout the last couple of weeks since the Duke was admitted to hospital. The pictures that I think we can show you now will show that it was quite difficult for the cameras to see, but shot through a police van window, you could see that two umbrellas had been put in place to try and obscure the view for photographers and cameras, as it appears the Duke of Edinburgh was being taken out of the hospital and then put into an ambulance. The ambulance then drove away, and around 10 minutes after that, a Range Rover then followed the ambulance. We didn't know exactly where that ambulance was going. We suspected that the Duke may well have been being taken back to Windsor Castle, where, of course, he's been spending time right throughout the pandemic alongside Her Majesty the Queen. But just to confirm, in the last 5 minutes or so, it has been confirmed by the hospital that he has, in fact, been taken to St Bartholomew's Hospital. They're continuing to treat him for an infection, but also they are undertaking testing and observation for a pre-existing heart condition. And St Bartholomew's, just to give you a bit more detail, is an internationally renowned hospital in the City of London. It's quite close to St Paul's Cathedral, so it wouldn't have taken them that long for him to get there. It's also a centre of excellence for both cardiac and cancer care. So that is now where Prince Philip is undergoing more treatment. We know that he was admitted here to the King Edward VII Hospital almost 2 weeks ago. The palace at the time said that he was able to walk into the hospital unaided. He wasn't brought here under any sense of emergency. They said that doctors at the time were acting with an abundance of caution, as you would anticipate they would. He is, after all, 99 years old, due to turn 100 in June. So, yeah, the latest update from the palace. He has left the King Edward VII Hospital, but is now being treated at St Bartholomew's Hospital, which is close to St Paul's Cathedral.